Welcome everybody to this CHAMP webinar on digitalization. Good morning, evening or afternoon. My name is Bart Haasbeek. I am based in Amsterdam and I am CHAMP's Head of Corporate Marketing, PR and Events. Let me start with introducing our panelists for this webinar. First to kick off is CHAMP's Anna Klekner, Sales and Account Manager eCargo. Hello, Anna.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me for the webinar.
You're welcome. Thank you. Followed by Alexander Hippler, Head of Airline Growth at cargo.one. Hi, Alex.
Hello, everyone.
Cijnsmans, Strategic Partnership Manager with Metamaze. Hi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Joe. And Timothy Walton, Senior Vice President, Sales at PayCargo. Hello,
good
Timothy.
Morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, good morning to you. Yeah, before we move on, some ground rules. The duration of the webinar is 45 minutes. Everybody is on mute. If you have any questions, please use the tool and we will raise them during the webinar. If we're out of time, we will get back to you via email with the answer. We will engage with you with 2 poll questions and everybody will receive the recording of the webinar tomorrow around this time. So you're on mute, please use the tool. And if you have any questions, you can also reach out to us via email and we will get back to you. As an IT company, CHAMP is uniquely positioned within the air cargo industry. The business is split in 3 main verticals, CHAMP Cargo Management, CHAMP eCargo, and CHAMP Insights. Our 3 outside partners are each representing one of these 3 verticals. So in a minute, we will start with Anna, and Anna sits in our CHAMP eCargo vertical. And Anna will shed some light on the terminology around digital, around digitalization and etc. Then we go to cargo.one, talk about digital sales transformation. The cargo.one also sits in the eCargo vertical within CHAMP. Then Yo with Metamaze, intelligent document processing, that's a tangible example of digital enablement. And Yo sits in the Insight, the CHAMP Insight vertical within CHAMP. And the last today, digitalizing logistic payments, that sits within our CargoSpot family of products in CHAMP Cargo Management. And Timothy will shed some light on the backbone of the financial digital transformation. So Anna, let's start with you. There's so much jargon in the world of digital. Could you shed some light on all these different topics?
Absolutely, I would be happy to. And I would like to start with with a question. What is digital business transformation? And are you optimizing your digital business processes or digitally transforming your business? We're really, in order to find out the differences between that, and I'll be talking about a few very similarly sounding and therefore confusing terms, I would like to start with digitizing. What does it mean? It's simply taking analog and making it digital. So for those who are a little bit more technologically advanced, it means it's taking analog information and encoding this to ones and zeros. This is not really my language, so I'll go back a little bit to today's example of our industry, which is an airway bill. So scanning a document to a computer, to our computers, is a great example of digitization. Or probably, I don't know, certainly I do remember VHS tapes. That's also example of uploading this to a computer and making this digital. Another term, which is very similar to this one, but means something else, is digitalization. and it is how we use technologies and the way we use the technologies to change our processes and how we do things. I think pretty good example would be how our social lives has changed due to social media, how we communicate through emails, chats, etc. And that made me think actually that today it's unheard of to be writing letters to each other because we are sending messages, yet we are still writing paper away bills. That's food for thought. Another term I would like to discuss is digital optimization, which is simply improving existing processes and business models. It's really tweaking and improving what we have today. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's doing things we're doing better. And then another term, on another hand, which is digital transformation, is strategic business transformation driven by implementing new technologies. So here we're focusing on new rather than existing. And it's very much customer driven and it has strategic business importance. In order to go through those processes, in order to take those steps, you need partners. Here I would like to quote Klekner. Digital business transformation is the process of exploiting digital technologies and supporting capabilities to create a robust new digital business model. And I definitely stand behind this sentence and would like to raise some questions, which we'll be talking about today, because not all companies, not all industries are moving forward with digitalization. What are our constraints? Why don't we do it? And what is your digital ambition? Talking about digital ambition, I would like to move to the next slide. And I would like to start maybe with a little bit controversial sentence. I do believe that if you do not have digital ambition, you will not have a future. Talking a little bit more about what's happening here on the left-hand side, we see a picture with digital business optimization, which is nothing else than improving existing processes, which I explained in my first slide. And digital business transformation focuses on launching new products and new services. To do that, you need digital technology enabler, such as Champ. And if you're, for example, an airline, you have core partners. Your IT company is your core partner, but also your ground handlers, your GSAs, your trackers, and with those partners, you need to synchronize data automatically. But you also have primary partners who optimize your processes, such as cargo.one with bookings or PayCargo with payments. How do we do that? We can use help of APIs. Let's say invoicing, deliveries, payments, bookings, you can name them. And I'm glad to say that Champ is a leading partner on the market with the most number of available APIs today. Another example of how we can get there is One Record, which is quite a loud topic today, and it's IATA's visionary solution, which is aiming to establish a single standardized data sharing platform that will offer us unity of information across the whole chain supply. Which that brings me to my last thought, which is automation is the main driver.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Yes, indeed. And you did shed some light of all this this information. And digital transformation is widely used. The phrase, as some say in other industries already, too widely used. But in our industry, in the air cargo industry, there's so much to do still. So you spoke about partners, about core partners, and about API partners. So one of those partners is Alex Hippler with cargo.one, and you will also talk to us about partners, Alex.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Bart. Hello, everyone. Here at cargo.one, I'm the head of airline growth, a position that gives me the privilege of working with our airline partners as they start and scale their digital sales channels. I'm excited to share some of the key learnings we have here from cargo.one, but before we dive in, maybe a few words about cargo.one. cargo.one is a digital air cargo booking platform with over 50 airlines available for digital bookings instantly, and and used by over 5,000 freight forwarders everywhere to quote, book, and manage their export and import shipments. And if these numbers seem hard to grasp, I would like to reinforce what Mike from Mid-Americas Overseas shared about cargo.one to make this very tangible to any freight forwarders who might be watching us today. cargo.one is actually the difference between getting business and not getting business. And this is possible because we give digital superpowers for freight forwarders and airlines alike. So on my next slide, I'll share a few things about cargo.one. First, for airlines, we are a channel that automatically answers freight forwarder requests, running well over 5,000 checks on every shipment request to make sure that every booking is the right booking for you. For you, freight forwarder, we are a 24/7 channel that allows you to do bookings with airlines in well under 2 minutes, but also more than that. It also makes it easier for you to do business with your network of agents, be it by booking their import services or also offering your own export services to them. And all of this is wrapped in data. Data that we make available to airlines, to freight forwarders to help them understand the market and find growth opportunities. For us to make this possible, we had to work with our airline partners with digitizing some of their existing processes. And we understood very early on that our partners had key challenges to transition from offline to digital, starting with their technology stack and knowing whether their systems were prepared. But I think also deeper than that, understanding how to prepare their teams from HQ to local on how to live in a world where quotations take a much bigger scale and bookings happen without really manual review. So when we looked at cargo.one and we looked at these channels, we decided to create 3 key capabilities here on cargo.one to help our partners thrive in digital sales. I will talk about them on my next slide, starting with platform with scalable integrations. We had to find a way to connect cargo.one with multiple partners out there that are using different systems from standard. For example, when they're using Champ and using their APIs, definitely makes our lives easier. But also we had to build custom integrations to leverage what airlines had available at the moment to then build that infrastructure of data transmission between cargo.one and airlines. Second, we built a channel that freight forwarders not only love, but trust, and thus they come back to do more bookings with our airline partners. And this is possible because of our amazing team of product managers, designers, and engineers who are constantly talking to freight forwarders to understand what are their jobs to be done and how can we make their lives even easier. And third, we also built in-house the capability of helping our airlines navigate through the change management needed to adopt a digital channel and going through all the different process changes, checklists, and trainings and onboardings to make sure that the airline will be prepared for a world where it will generate well over 1 million offers a month without having to manually review each offer. And through these 3 capabilities, we're now helping our partners get closer and closer to the current benchmark of 60% digital sales, as shown by the survey we conducted last year, that is available on my last slide, and I would invite everyone to read. Now, as freight forwarders get more and more used to their B2C experience, and they expect that same experience to be existent on their B2B business, more and more, it's important for airlines to have digital channels as a core part of their distribution strategy. And while it might still seem daunting to a few, I would like to reinforce that it has been proven over and over again that it's possible. By now, we have a long track of airlines who have done that transition and have written success stories of harvesting the benefits of this transition. I have personally helped airlines doing that transition in the past multiple times, So I'd be happy to answer any questions on the chat and also leave my email here for any questions after the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I'll show the QR code. I downloaded this document and it's quite interesting indeed. I made some notes. So I like digital superpowers that you give away. That's very good. And also you said that Champ APIs are making your life easier. How many APIs do you use from Champ and for which processes?
Yeah, so we're using, I believe, 4 different APIs to quote, manage bookings, track, and then also manage allotments. But I'm sure there are other use cases here that we're working together.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you mentioned change management. I will not ask you anything about it, but change management could be one of the biggest constraints in our industry of moving forward. It's difficult to change and processes changing. You need a lot of input, a lot of work, people think. So that is one of the bigger constraints. Let's go to some of those constraints now within the poll question. And so I asked the audience if you could answer these questions. And also, if you have any questions, please raise them to us, and we will be happy to answer them during the webinar. So the first poll question is, what are your corporate goals on digital transformation? Is it profit? Is it customer experience? Automating and streamlining workflows? Replacing software? Reducing the number of systems? So yeah, and I mentioned you need a digital strategy, digital ambition actually. So yeah, what would be your strategy and your goals? Profit, customer experience. I see that the votes are getting in. I'll leave it open for a half more minute to get to a reasonable percentage of votes. And it's quite interesting that so far one is not yet voted for. Yeah, let me close. This is a very good number, a very good percentage. I'm going to close the webinar or the poll question and share the results. So, Anna or
Yes.
Alex, what is your view on this? The winner is automating and streamlining workflows.
Anna, you let's go first.
Thank you. Well, I guess I'm not that surprised because I think what's happening in our industry today is that there is still too much paper, there is still too much manual labor. So I do believe that definitely goal would be to make things more automatic, to streamline the workflows, because often processes are not straightforward. So yes, I would probably agree with this.
Yes. And I'm sure you do as well, Alex, because this is basically what you do, automating these type of processes. But if you have a comment, you could also mention it.
Yeah, I would say that automation is a good intermediary goal. No one automates things for the sake of automating things, but rather you automate your processes to then get better profit or give a better user experience. So I think it's a good first milestone, but it shouldn't stop there.
Yes, interesting. Yeah, profit you would imagine had more votes because everything drives around profit, but okay. This is good. So the next question, how do you plan on measuring the success of digital transformation in your business? Revenue or customer-based growth that can be attributed to digital changes? Technology adoption rate or employee use of new processes or tools? Operations, time and cost saving, ability to leverage data analytics and business intelligence attributed to digital changes, or we have no structure of measuring success. And yes, so let's see how many, so the votes are getting in. just a few seconds more. I would like to have 15% more. So please vote, and also please use the toolbox to ask questions. There are a few questions that came in, so thank you for that, but we can have more. Let me close and see who was the winner here. Operations, time and cost saving. So measuring success on digital transformation would be around operations and time and cost saving. Let's go to our next speaker. So our next speaker from Belgium, Cijnsmans with Metamaze. You talk about these processes and you found a way to optimize certain processes. Could you explain about your solution?
Yes, of course, I will. I won't go too deep today because it's a limited time frame. If you want to know more, we can always give a demo afterwards. But before we dive into the solution, I would like to give a bit of background on Metamaze. As you can see on the next slide, we have been working for quite some time in the machine learning space. About 4 years ago, we started out in a large project for a bank in Belgium, where they basically asked us to go a bit further than what OCR can do and actually use machine learning to understand documents and emails of any kind. Over the past 4 or 5 years, we've implemented more than 85 clients with that machine learning solution. A big chunk of them in the logistics and in the cargo industry. And I'm going to share today some things that we've learned over that time and how we use that technology specifically for Champ. And the problem that we solve for each of our clients on the next slide is the problem that most of the data that comes into your organization is trapped in emails and PDFs. It's very rare that you receive structured data formats from your clients or your suppliers. In most cases, they will just give you the format that they like and then not the one that you can process automatically. And that's a growing problem. And we see that companies, they try to go towards EDI, structured data connections, but still in most industries, and especially in logistics industries, companies are still struggling to have that data interchange together. So what they used to do approximately 10 to 5 years ago is buy an OCR solution, but there's limitations to what OCR can do. As you see on the right side, if you're talking about orders, transport orders, purchase orders, whatever, each client uses their own template. And if you have hundreds, thousands of clients, you will have to configure a specific layout, a specific template in that software to understand those documents if they come from different suppliers, which is not very scalable if you have lots of business partners. So what we have developed 5 years ago is using large language models. We all know the ChatGPTs today of this world. They're everywhere on LinkedIn, and it's quite a hype. But 5 years ago, there was already similar technology, which we used on the next slide, to basically train algorithms that understand, in the case of Champ, airway bills, regardless of the layout. So they learn what's a consignee, what's an address. They learn for every field. They try to understand what is the context, where in this document can I find this based on the words around it, the value of the word, the location of the word, but they're not just looking at fixed layouts, which makes the solution a lot more scalable, and you put the configuration of the tool basically at the end user side, who can correct the system. The algorithms learn from those corrections, and you get a self-learning system and not a system that you need to configure every week or every month to teach it fixed templates. Now, using that solution, we talked to Champ, who saw in the market that there are still 60 million airway bills typed and compared by hand yearly, and that is just not something that should be done manually. It's something that can be easily automated if you use the right technology. So we created the scanning solution, the A to Z scanning solution, that is capable of understanding what is an airway bill, where can I find all these fields, at a 94% accuracy. So 94% of the airway bills are processed automatically by this solution. And in those 6%, you still have a human looking at the system, correcting it. And those corrections are used to retrain the system and making it smarter over time. It also automatically matches the data from the airway bill with your cargo system. So that manual step is also fully automated. Now, I've mentioned ChatGPT once, I won't do it again, but it's a question that we get a lot. How is this technology transforming the intelligent document processing space? Because it's quite relevant for what we do. If we go towards the next slide, it's quite elaborate, but in a high-level overview, within a document processing solution, you have different steps. You have OCR, you need to turn an image back into a text. You have classification, you need to know, is this an invoice or an airway bill? Entity extraction means getting the fields out, and then enrichments and post-processing means transforming the data on a document into a format that you can enter into your system. And in each of those steps, we see a shift from having models that are trained on example data towards using more and more pre-trained GPT-like models and not needing to train the model initially. So what we do now is you need a few days or a few weeks to set up a machine learning algorithm, and even that step will become shorter, making it maybe a day or a few hours to train a machine learning algorithm to understand any documents out there. So it's a very powerful technology. Today, it's mainly being used for simple things like invoices, for example. For more complex documents, we see that it's not yet powerful enough, but it's something that we need to watch and we will implement once it's more mature. But of course, it offers a lot of opportunities in the next weeks and months.
Perfect. Thank you, Jo. Yes, so this is a good example of digitalization, or digitization, I should say now, where you create a solution to scan an airway bill and then do something with it and do more through AI. You even use the next gen AI. Alex, a quick question to you. Do you use AI in cargo.one?
Yes, Bart, and I think the case I can disclose today is that we're helping our partners get the unstructured data that they have on emails and pictures and attached PDFs into the structured data to run a quotation on cargo.one with a press of a button.
Perfect. Timothy, you're up next, and I would like already to ask you the same question. If PayCargo uses AI. So
yeah.
the floor is yours.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, and excellent presentations by Alex, Jo, and Anna. Yes, PayCargo does use AI in its processes. We're currently working with, we're a multimodal platform, which means we work with airlines, ground handlers, GSAs, ocean carriers, marine terminals, trucking companies. All of them are currently starting to use AI through our platform to really improve the process. And all of the panelists have touched on this. It's maybe profit wasn't the driving force, it was reducing the workflows and so forth, but we're finding that more customers, because of the current economic environment and the need to improve their bottom line, are looking for ways to improve either the process to get to profit at the end of the day. AI is one of the drivers for us. So how do we automate the invoice automation process for an ocean carrier, for an airline, for a ground handler, to remove some of the manual processes? PayCargo is a patented digital payment platform. We've been in this since 2009. We have operations in North America, which means United States, Canada, Mexico, in multiple currencies. We've been in Europe since 2019, which means we have our head office in Madrid for the EU and the UK. We have staff there. We have operations in euros and pounds. We're going live in Hong Kong next month, where we'll be digitalizing cash payments in Hong Kong dollars to a digital e-wallet, which means ground handlers and truckers are getting paid in cash, literally in cash in Hong Kong dollars. We're providing them with an e-wallet, and for one of the largest ground handlers in Hong Kong. It's an interesting operation. In the next slide, I could talk a little bit about some of the payer benefits. We have several types of customers. So first and foremost, Champ has been a great partner with PayCargo. We have an API in place on the payment side and visibility for a ground handler, an airline, a GSA, and others. One of our customers might be on the payer side, could be a customs broker, a freight forwarder, a trucker, a beneficial cargo owner, be able to make payments to an airline or ground handler. So we try to make their processes more efficient for the customers. Example, I met yesterday here in New York area with a large freight forwarder. We're helping them to automate their AP, their accounts payable processes. They're trying to get rid of their manual input of data and payment issues. On the receivable side, we have other types of customers, which on the next slide might be what we would call a vendor, which would be the receiver. A receiver, again, could be an airline, a ground handler, a GSA, an ocean carrier. We push guaranteed payments to them. So how do they reduce manual EFTs, wire transfers, check payments, and cash, as I alluded to earlier in the Hong Kong situation, and make their processes more efficient? So we work with about 5,000 customers who receive payments every day in the North American model. In the US and Canada, we have over 50,000 customers who are payers, and they use our application to make payments to, again, people like some of the people who are on this call who are also partners with PayCargo and American Airlines, TAP Portugal, WFS, and others. They currently receive payments through our system in addition to large ocean carriers. Bart Jan was kind enough to invite me to this, but also asked me to keep it short. So any questions, sir?
Yes, a lot of questions. So that's why I ask you to keep it short, because there are so many questions. One of the questions is, which I raised myself, is you mentioned you're a multimodal portal or platform. So you have Ocean as well. When it comes to digitizing and digital in general, you compare our world to the passenger world, then we know where we are. The passenger, we all fly and we all book online and we all know how it works. But now, when you compare us to the ocean side, what is your view? Where do we stand as an industry?
I think on the air side, it is ahead of the ocean, and we're making strides with a number of the ocean carriers through APIs and digitizing their process to receive or make payments. However, the air side, I think, is making strides that the ocean carriers, because of some legacy systems and change management issues, which some of my colleagues talked about earlier, but it is moving in the right direction. And for me personally, from a non-tech perspective, it's the commercial reasons, i.e., in today's economic environment, their margins are down. So people are now looking at how to improve their processes.
Yeah.
In our world, get paid faster, which means a guaranteed remittance versus perhaps credit payments. So does that help?
Yes, thank you. So there are a few questions that came in, and one is, normally we don't mention names, but now I will do. It's from Marco Sorgetti from Flying Typers. Marco asked, the lack of common standards for all stakeholders has been a limitation in the uptake of digitization in the air cargo logistics for ages. So the lack of common standards, according to many observers. Is this still a strong limiting factor, or has the progress in IT bridged the gap now? So Anna, I see you are nodding. So would you like to answer that? Is the lack of common standards a limitation?
Well, definitely it is, and I think it still exists very widely. So I did mention about digital ambition. I think that with the end-one record as well, which will take us a little bit closer to having unified systems and let's call it same language. Yes, I would agree that that gap is still there because of lack of standards, lack of digital ambition. Purely saying, if there is no, if you don't prioritize, if you don't think that digitalization and those processes are important enough, you're not going to invest in this. You're not going to move into the future.
Yeah. So we talk about one record, for example, that will be a game changer, most probably, as we all think. We're all behind it very much. Alex, we have not discussed it. I have no idea, but do you work with one record, or are you gonna work with it?
Yeah, our teams are ready for one record. It also depends on the counterparts to be using it, right? So for airlines to provide APIs using one record, for example, But when we look at our own development, it's on track with one record.
Okay, perfect. So another question also from Marco from Flying Typers is, if you wished to name a culprit in the remaining resistances, would you choose lack of money or individual ambition? Is there any else that we need to factor in? So yeah, if yeah, the culprit in the remaining resistance. So Anna, maybe you have an idea around this?
Well, I guess ties up very well with my previous response, because of course money is always the problem, but if you believe that something is important enough, you will find funds for this. If you see the value in this, in making processes shorter, in reducing manual labor, in getting more customers, making more sales in that time when you are doing something else. If you see real value, then I don't think that finance is the problem, because in the end is going to generate more revenue. So I think that lack of ambition is the problem, not lack of finances.
Okay, yes, I would also say change management, but Alex,
Absolutely.
to ask you a question, Alex, to change things in general, what would be a preferred way, the carrot or the stick approach?
Yeah, I think multiple airlines had the privilege of doing this while it was a carrot, and now it's becoming more and more of a stick as customers are demanding this type of experience. They no longer want to receive fax or send emails back and forth. They demand an online experience. And so I think more and more it's a stick now.
Yeah. Are there already airlines who do 100% e-booking or very close to that?
But we definitely have leaders doing well over 60%. I think not yet 100%, because not all shipment types have been made available in digital channels yet.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Yeah, I didn't mean 100% globally, but maybe in certain markets where people are far ahead. So Yo, I don't know if I just asked you, but the pouch. We in the air cargo industry, we have a lot of documents which accompany a shipment. All kinds of certificates, financial documentation, licenses, permits, you name it. Do you see also a future for your company to play a role in that and to digitize even the pouch?
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and it's more the exotic ones that will remain, I think. Standard things like the airway bill might become more and more digital, but things like certificates, things that have to be on a document still, will still remain on paper, and then therefore need that kind of intelligent layer to have them interpreted into data. So yes, I think there's still a room for automation for the more complex documents. The simple ones, in the end, sometime 5-10 years from now, they will become more and more in a structured format.
Yes. Okay. So then, so there is sometimes still audience for questions. So please ask your questions if you have them. So another rhetorical question maybe. Would you say that everything has already been digitized or digitalized, and everything around us is digital, but also in our industry? Are there any processes that have not been digitalized, and why are we not using them? So I think back to you, Alex, again as well. Jamp as an IT company, and with all our APIs and our partners in the industry, everything is digital, only the adoption is not there. What is your view on that?
I agree with it. And something I mentioned earlier today, that cargo.one also runs additional checks to ensure good offer quality. In on the foundation of it, that happens because for many airlines, they still haven't digitized a few chunks of their information, be it rates, be it minimum connection times, be it embargoes. And it's not because the technology is not there. As you said, the technology is there. Systems do support this, but rather because the operators of this maybe don't yet see the value of having this available in a digital fashion.
Yeah, and Timothy, on your side, you have a solution which is really time saving, and you get your money quicker. And still, I'm sure there is hesitation also in the markets where you operate. What are the constraints that you face, if you face any constraints?
Sure. No, there's always constraints. I would say legacy systems and fear of change broadly. So how do we simply make it easier for an airline or an ocean carrier or freight forwarder to digitalize part of their processes? And they see the efficiency. And some of my colleagues have mentioned earlier, that's really how do we do that? Most people, we think we have a very simple platform. Once they see it, how easy it is to integrate, and obviously with a great partner like Champ, through the API process, it's very simple. The adoption is very, very easy, and the onboarding of an airline or a carrier or others. So just a quick note though, we are using this opportunity of our interactions with our customers to improve our own processes internally. By that I mean, example, we're trying to do automated refunds with many of our partner airlines and ground handlers and others, simply to become more efficient, we as PayCargo. Again, looking at bottom line and profit, which is one of the questions in the questionnaire earlier, is how do we become more efficient and more digital and less manual? And it's being driven by interaction with our customers.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we face the same within Champ. All the systems are integrating. Also, I'm in marketing, and if you see the marketing tools that integrate even with this webinar platform, so there is a high level of integration going on this side also of our business. Okay, I think we have 3 minutes to go, so let's move on and let's go to the summary. Anna, so what did we learn today?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank all the panelists and audience for the attention. And well, I started with my slides, so I shed some light on some of the terms which are maybe quite similar, yet meaning something different. And I think the takeout from this is, if you do not have a digital ambition, you do not have a future. Then that was followed by Alexander from cargo.one, and he was emphasizing importance of partnership and also extensive suite of APIs. Later, we heard from Metamaze and Yo, we heard about intelligent document processing and how it's changing the industry, how it's improving the industry and reducing the time. And also about new generation of AI vision, which, as you say, you know, it's a big hype. So let's see what future brings. And last but not least, Timothy from PayCargo talked to us about digitizing logistics payments, how easy that can be, how it can improve the payment and how fast it can be. And also it's encouraging us to digital adaptation.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Anna. So we would like to let you know and finalize with a question. Are you serious about digitalization? Now, let you know that we are. I would like to thank you, Anna, Timothy, Yo, and Alexander for contributing to this webinar. Thank you, audience. It was a pleasure, and we hope to see you next time. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.